What is a miracle? I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Oh, it's such a beautiful thing to recognize that God is everywhere and all around, and all I'm talking to God and teaching God for no reason at all, because God knows everything. And it's rather interesting because, think of it in this way. Sometimes God can be quite the bugger. It's like, God's such a jokester. Ha ha ha. Really playing with my emotions today, right? Can kick you around and put you in strange situations and difficulties. And it seems like, how could you say that there's no reason to fear? How could you say there's no reason to be angry when this and that all happens and the situation could go this way and that could occur? And it's endless. It makes a little more sense when we accept the fact that what God is does not entirely perceive nor agree with what it is that we see, what, say, the world is. So it's a little easier to understand when what you see in the world is meant to be healed, that you are meant to use it for forgiveness and to get past it, to get through it, accepting and offering that freedom, that liberation from all the pain and suffering that it usually involves. So for a while, it does seem as if you're kind of disassociating to reality, and you're disconnecting, and you're kind of getting a cold-hearted kind of perspective of this. And I don't think it entirely is meant to go down that way. It can, and it did for me on the journey, you're disconnecting. You're learning how to not react, learning how to not respond, in a sense that emotional reactions is not what you want. But that you accept instead that, okay, there's a better way of seeing this. You're not reacting, so you're looking at it another way. You're attempting to see past it, see through it, recognize God there. And so you're taking that break, you're taking that breather from what it seems to so call from inside about your anger and fear, and you're looking at it again. Now, something that's really rather important, because I want to concur with you about this as it so seems to come up. You're going to face times where you think it's better for you to not be angry and to not be fearful, and yet you want to be. And now, not being what is there is also not being authentic. It is more important to be authentic for you to remember who you are than it is to lie about who you are. So you try to enforce a different way of thinking. Essentially, if you are using the anger, using the fear, using the frustration all the time, you'll grow tired of it. You'll eventually to start seeing past it. But when you try to suppress it, it makes it into something bigger. It's not meant to be suppressed. This is more getting into the lines of there's no reason for it because God is all that is. God is here. And yet you're going to see reasons for it. And to be authentic is to be and to express that. But do it so in a manner that allows yourself to see or to talk, to work through it. Don't just be mad, throwing stuff and getting out of the room. Don't be just pushing the tantrum as far as you can. Yes, that's definitely unnecessary. Be willing to see a different way or to communicate a different aspect or a different understanding that you didn't previously, say, communicate. Use that as your willingness for God to reveal itself. You have to be willing for it to show itself in order for you to see it. So another aspect also is that soon what you thought was fear and anger and different variations is not actually what you think it is. And this is a little more down the road. You realize that there is and never has been anger. There never has been fear. And so what you call fear and anger in various different ways is misunderstood by the conscious ego mind. And you can't see the change of frequencies that's occurring. And so it distorts it to seemingly be negative, oh, it's bad, as you so have been taught and taught yourself to think. But it's not bad. It's never been bad. In fact, it's never even been anger. It's never been fear. These things like guilt and shame, paranoia, don't actually have existence. They're the absence of understanding what is existing. So as you're seeing this change of frequencies, you recognize that it might be a spat looking like on the surface between you and someone else, a disagreement, but you're not recognizing that the movement of frequencies is somewhat aggravating where resistance resides. And so it's always revealing resistance. You think it's negative because you have resistance. And that means you have healing there. So God, all around, sometimes aggravates you, not because it's trying to, but because you have resistance to seeing the truth there. It's not the strange situation that aggravates you. It's not the person. It's not the thing. It's your resistance to it. And your resistance, as you're coming to understand what that is and recognize and forgive it, you'll see that that's what's keeping you from recognizing what love is. That's what's keeping you from recognizing where God is. And so it only brings up these areas because, they're obvious. And it wants you to know it. It wants you to heal these things. So yes, you're getting upset because I'm dealing with the same thing all the time, always happening. Why is this always coming up? Why do we have to deal with this, talk about this every single day? Because it's time to heal it so that you can recognize God there. Does that apply to everything? Absolutely. Yeah. Is God everywhere? Yes. Everywhere, everything, every possible variation of all existence. Yep. So there is no reason to fear. It's only resistance to seeing the truth that persuades you to believing there is something to fear, something to be angry about.